Welcome back to Stories Aloud, where every page turns into a voice and every story becomes an experience. Today, we step into Insurgent by Veronica Roth, the second book of the Divergent trilogy. You haven't watched Part 1, The Divergent. Watch it from the I button above. The Insurgent is a tale where choices aren't just personal. They're political, dangerous, and often deadly. Let's dive into a world where love, rebellion, and betrayal collide.
Okay, yeah, let's jump right into that political chaos because our sources, they really drop us straight into the thick of it, don't they? Right after this huge attack that's just shattered the whole faction system.
Exactly. And we're not just, recapping. We're trying to pull out the really high-stakes political stuff here.
Mm.
Loyalty, betrayal, and this massive secret hanging over the city.
Mm-hmm. And it starts with just raw trauma, doesn't it? You've got Triss and Tobias, they're on the run.
Right, carrying that hard drive with all the simulation data from the erudite attack, and they're fleeing, heading into Amity territory.
And Tress is hurt physically, but like you said in the intro, it's the emotional wound that's really defining things. Killing Will, under simulation, but still.
Yeah, she keeps waking up saying his name. That guilt is,
Right.
it's palpable,
Mm.
and it immediately becomes a political problem, too.
It really does. And that intense personal stuff makes her clash with Amity just so revealing, you know? Amity, led by Johanna Reyes, they're all about extreme peace.
Like extreme peace, community decisions, trying to stamp out conflict entirely, and they use that green peace serum.
Right. But the thing is, that kind of pacifism, well, it's a bit of a luxury when war lands on your doorstep, isn't it?
Totally. And the sources show Amity's ideals kind of buckling straight away. Tobias hands over his gun, but he actually stops Triss from revealing hers.
Yeah, the concealed one. That moment just highlights the danger, right? Her dauntless survival instinct crashes right into Amity's whole ideology.
It forces her to be deceptive, just to survive. It really hammers home how these old faction lines and ideas are just crumbling in this new reality.
And you see her trying to cope with all this trauma, too. Like, physically, she cuts her hair off drastically.
Oh yeah, as straight a line as I can, because she feels she can't look the same after losing her mom, after everything. It's symbolic.
Definitely. But then the personal drama gives way to the first big political mystery.
While they're still in Amity, right? Triss overhears Marcus Eaton, Tobias's father, who he absolutely hates.
Uh-huh. She hears Marcus telling Johanna that Jeanine Matthews didn't just attack abnegation for control, she attacked them to steal something.
Sensitive information, he calls it. Information that was entrusted to abnegation, and it's supposedly far more important than you can imagine.
Boom. First layer of the conspiracy. What did abnegation actually have? What's the real prize here?
But what's really interesting is how Tobias reacts. He completely dismisses it.
Totally. Says his father is an excellent liar, just trying to make himself seem important again.
So right away, you, the listener, are stuck, aren't you? Who do you trust? Marcus, the known abuser with this potentially vital information. Or Tobias, the traumatized son who might be too cynical.
Exactly. The search for truth is immediately tangled up in all this personal history and distrust. It's messy.
And that mess leads them straight into, well, probably the harshest place they could go next. Candor headquarters.
Ugh, candor, the faction of honesty. But their way of getting honesty is kind of brutal. Public interrogations using truth serum.
Yeah, it forces everything out. Your deepest, darkest, most damaging secrets, all laid bare for everyone. Institutionalized cruelty, really.
And they have no choice. They get pulled into this ritual. Private pain becomes a public weapon. Tobias goes first.
And even though he's got this seriously strong will, as the source says, the serum eventually breaks him down.
And his confession. Wow. It's the first huge bombshell that really shakes things up personally for him.
He admits his real name is Tobias Eaton, and why he transferred to Dauntless, not out of bravery.
No, it was to protect myself from my father. Self-preservation. He actually calls the transfer an act of cowardice.
And reveals his deepest fear is becoming like Marcus. It's huge because it shows where his self-doubt comes from, and it confirms his link to the old abnegation leadership, the one Marcus was part of.
And it's during this testimony, too, that we get a clearer definition of divergence. Tobias explains it simply means being resistant to simulations.
Which is key, isn't it? It means they're not a threat because they're superpowered, but because they can't be easily controlled by Jeanine's main weapon.
Exactly, but then it's Triss's turn under the serum. And it's just devastating for her.
She's forced to confess the thing that's been eating her alive. I shot Will, I killed him, her friend.
And the fallout is immediate. Christina Will's, well, she was close to Will, and Triss's friend. She just looks at Triss with suspicion. That bond just shatters right there.
A personal secret becomes a public wedge. It isolates Triss even more, right when she needs allies.
Yeah. Tobias just warns her later, quiet is dangerous, which is ominous. If you can't trust friends, who can you trust as the politics get even crazier?
Now, they are getting crazier. Erudite is still the main enemy, but suddenly there's this new power player emerging.
The factionless? And they're not just scattered individuals anymore, they're organized.
And led by Evelyn Johnson, who turns out to be Tobias's mother, the one he thought was dead.
Right. Huge shock. And her factionless army is apparently massive. The sources estimate it's twice the size of Dauntless.
Her goal isn't just stopping Janine either. It's bigger than that. She wants a totally new society.
Without factions, complete systemic change. Which sounds maybe good, but there's a catch.
A big one. Evelyn herself admits her plan will require a high level of destruction.
So that's the new dilemma, isn't it? Is wiping out the whole system, even violently, better than letting Erudite take control? Tobias seems to think Evelyn's way is the only way forward.
But then the immediate threat level just skyrockets again. They capture some Erudite tech.
And they find out Janine hasn't just improved her simulations, she's developed a long-lasting transmitter.
Meaning the control isn't temporary anymore. People aren't just puppets during an attack.
No. Surviving faction members could be, like, permanently wired for multiple simulations. They could be turned into weapons anytime. It's terrifying.
It shifts the whole game. It's not just about stopping one attack. It's about fighting for your own mind. Permanently.
Faced with that, Tobias starts playing the political game himself. He uses his confession, his name, his connection to Marcus.
To gain influence with the loyal Dauntless members, right? Trying to pull them into an alliance with his mother and the factionalists.
Yeah, he's actively stepping up, trying to become the leader he confessed he was too afraid to be before.
But Trees, she can't wait for alliances and strategies. She's still haunted by what Marcus said about that stolen information.
And she makes this incredibly reckless, but also kind of selfless decision.
She just walks right into Erudite headquarters to confront Janine, believing, as she puts it, I came here so that no one else would die.
And inside, she learns more about Janine's goal. It's not just about killing Divergents.
No, Janine sees them as a problem to be solved, scientifically. She's testing Triss, her flexible personality, her aptitude for 3 factions, abnegation, Dauntless, Erudite.
Why?
Yeah.
To figure out how to create a simulation that can break the Divergent mind, control their decision-making.
But the deepest betrayal, God, it comes from her own family.
Her brother, Caleb, he's working with Janine. An informant.
And he justifies it, saying it's necessary for freedom of information, betraying his sister, his old faction's values.
Yeah.
It shows how warped things have become.
It's brutal, and just as Tress is about to be executed, the most unlikely rescuer appears.
Peter, her longtime nemesis from Dauntless initiation.
Yeah. He uses a paralyzing serum, helps Tobias stage Triss's death, and they escape. It just goes to show, alliances mean nothing now. It's all about self-interest and survival. Peter's just looking out for number one.
Which leads us to the climax. Tobias gets hold of Caleb, gets the stolen hard drive back,
and plays the video, the big one, the secret Marcus was talking about. This is where everything pivots from personal and factional conflict to something way bigger.
The video reveals the entire city, the factions. It wasn't just a society, it was an experiment.
Yeah. The speaker in the video, Amanda Ritter, she explains the outside world was destroyed by, well, human nature. War, cruelty.
And the city was created as a kind of control environment, a laboratory to try and fix human nature itself.
Then the absolute kicker. Amanda Ritter says she's going to wipe her own memory and join the experiment herself under a new name.
Edith Pryor, Tress's ancestor.
Mind blown. The whole system was this massive act of self-imposed control, basically, built on forgetting the past, trying to cure humanity of itself.
So the whole conflict we've been following, abnegation versus Erudite, Dauntless versus Candor, it's all redefined, isn't it? It's not really about factions fighting each other.
No, it's about this fundamental question. Is human nature so flawed that it needs this level of control to stop us from destroying ourselves?
So pulling it all together, we started with Teresa's very personal guilt and trauma. And that drove her until she uncovered this massive city-defining, maybe even species-defining truth.
Yeah, the whole book, Insurgent, is about the destructive power of secrets, isn't it? Marcus's secret, Evelyn hiding her existence, Caleb's betrayal.
And it's all set against this backdrop of personal choice versus this huge controlling system. a system designed, ironically, to stop the very violence and instability that the conflict itself embodies.
Right. The city was an attempt to contain human nature.
So now the truth is out,
Yeah.
at least for some of them. What do? The faction system was a lie, but maybe a comforting lie for some. A structure that kept things, contained.
That's the huge moral question it leaves you with, isn't it? Do you try and rebuild the known lie, the controlled environment, because maybe the alternative, the reality outside the fence, is even worse?
Or do you chase that unknown, dangerous truth, even if it means facing the very human cruelty the city was built to suppress? Truth versus the illusion of safety.
It's a heavy choice. What's the obligation, now that they know?
Insurgent reminds us that the hardest battles are often the ones we fight within ourselves, between guilt, love, and truth. If Trace's journey gripped you, share this story with someone who loves tales of resilience and sacrifice. And don't forget to subscribe to Stories Aloud for more powerful journeys through the books that shape us. Until next time, keep listening.